Welcome to Voyagers Adventure Episode 6, which is the Gerstlauer Bobsled Indoor Coaster. I'm so happy to start this coaster. It's a coaster that I've had in my mind literally since the park started. I've always wanted to do an indoor coaster, never really had the opportunity to do one, especially just because of how complex and like how much detail and time I need to put into it. But then I just kind of thought, I mean, this park is everything over ambitious, so I just thought I'd do it. And I'm really happy with the layout I've created. I'll give you a little tour of it. But it's kind of all going to take place in this building. I've already added a little bit of the backstage down here, which I can quickly show you. It's submerged because the coaster building is actually pressed into the ground a couple of meters. I did think this could be some sort of just, I don't know, law. Maybe that they couldn't build over a certain height just in the area. I thought it'd kind of give it a bit of a limitation. So I set myself a limit. I think it was about, how tall is the coaster? Because I did give it a certain limit. Yeah, 18 meters in the air, so I kind of gave myself a limit of about 25 meters tall for the building. Just thought it'd kind of be something interesting to work with. But I'm really happy with the coaster. It's nice and simple because I didn't want to be too much with it. The amount of theming that this coaster is going to take for me to do, I thought I'd try and actually make the coaster layout quite simple. But you will enter the queue down here. You've probably noticed this section here, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I'm really excited about that. You'll enter the queue here, have this kind of outside portion that interacts with the facade, comes down here into this quite big room, so I'm going to do quite a big, maybe walking pre-show in here, thematic piece sort of thing. Then you'll come under the station. This will be custom queue cover, so you won't be able to see the split. Oh. But you will either split left or right because it's a dual loading station. Obviously that doesn't work in game, so just one of the stations is a dummy station, doesn't do anything. But I'll take you through the layout of the coaster. Oh, this train's coming with us. So you come here and the merge point, little icon guardians. This first turnaround, once you reach the top of the drop, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit misleading. So you kind of come around this turn relatively slow, and you'll probably, because this is a flat turn, you're not descending at any point, so you'll come around sort of looking this way. I'm going to have some sort of scene playing out here, so you don't really expect the drop. So the audience will kind of be focused on that scene, and then all of a sudden it just plummets down here, which would be really cool. Obviously this is a 1.2 meter coaster, so it's not going to be the most extreme thing in the world. Really cool overbank here, twists in and out of the track. This will be quite dark, so you won't be able to see the track that well. And it rises up into its first of quite a few mid-course brake run block sections. It's going to be quite a high capacity ride, a lot of trains, so it needs block sections to keep a high capacity. This thing runs 5 trains or so. It's not messing around with capacity, it's going to be flying people out. So after that it drops down here, little airtime kind of speed hill thing, a nice flat lateral turn into another block section, but this is a slightly longer one. I might have some sort of show scene here with something on the end on that wall. Then it turns around, goes up into the much bigger second lift hill, and then obviously it might also have some sort of scene here, or even while you're going up the lift hill, similar to sort of like Big Thunder Mountain at the Disney parks as you're going through the like cave systems up in the lift hill. Might have some sort of show scene going on there. Maybe some sort of thing here to distract you from the drop. Again, swoops down into this drop, swoops around. Really snappy overbank here as you come outside. This is going to have an outside interaction with the facade. There's also going to be some sort of large indoor eatery here with an outdoor seating area. And you can see it from the paths anyway, but it's just some sort of thing to entice you onto the ride, especially so you know what it is. Like, I don't know how many times I've been in a park that I don't know much about. Like, say when I went to Park Asterix and you kind of see a building, you're like, what is it? I thought it'd be quite cool to have some sort of coaster interaction on the outside of the building, so you know exactly what you're getting yourself in for. Then it bursts back through here, just some sort of like cheetah hunt, S-bendy things, but it's going upwards. Comes around here, nice snap into another block section. Does a little bit of a dip, kind of flat turn. It's not really banked in like kind of an excessive way. I've done it quite minimally banked on purpose. I'll show you if a train comes around so you can see what I'm on about. But it's kind of banked in a certain way. It's a very specific way that it kind of throws you a bit. You get like a bit of upwards sideways airtime. Banks down into this hill, turnaround section here with a dip in it, so you get a bit of airtime coming into this off-axis part here. Jumps round, really snappy turn into the brakes, and then you've got the long brake run back into the station. Obviously the brake run's a bit longer to deal with the two stations because the merger point will be here for the track, whether it switches. You go in either of the two stations, and then your exit bridge is up the middle connecting the two stations, and then you exit down here. This will have obviously the ride photo unit thing like all the other coasters have in the park. And then in terms of just the actual rest of the area, we're going to have this flat ride here, which I've started to sort of skin up, more thrilling flat ride of the park. We haven't really got that many flat rides, to be fair. What kind of flat rides we've got? We've got this KMG Afterburner here. There's this planes ride that I need to theme in at some point. That's about it. Yeah, we don't have any of the flat rides, so I thought I'd add some in. So there's that one, and then there's a Sizzler as well, which I'm also theming in because I want to try to get rid of all the fairgroundiness of these rides because I want this to be in the nice, like this immersive fortress Asian medieval village area. It's a mouthful, all the stuff that's going on. But like I explained in the last episode, next episode, episode 7, there will be a really big coaster coming across this lake, and that coaster will be kind of the in-between theme between this area and the area that's coming down here. So the rock work for this area is the Alpine rocks, and the rock work for this in-between area and over here are going to be these rocks, hence why I did the back of this building, if you remember, in episode 2? So the back of this building, saying that it was going to be looking onto this part of the themed area, so it needs to look a bit different. So that was why I did that. But yeah, this is actually coming together really nicely. This coaster's quite big for an indoor coaster, but it's sort of a similar size to, what's the Uncharted coaster at Portaventura? Sort of a similar size to that. I think that one might be slightly bigger and a bit more thrilling, but we haven't really got that many family coasters either. Like, I know the Woody's kind of a family coaster and so is the Vekoma, but they're both quite high thrill family coasters. So this one's going to be something on the lower range, and I am going to put another smaller family coaster in this area at some point. But next week's episode is also a family coaster, but a very different one. I'll leave it there. But yeah, this is really exciting. I'm happy with this. I think I will leave it without a roof for now until I've done most of the theming, and then I'll theme the roof and then put the concrete roof on, and then we'll be done. So I will get back to you at sort of a halfway point next time I've done a lot of progress. Hopefully it'll be relatively soon, because I finished that area in like maybe a week, 2 weeks. I did that really quickly. So this area is smaller, but a lot more detail obviously. So I'll let you know how I get on and speak to you in the next update. Right, it is update 2 time, and I thought we'd start this update on this bridge because I haven't actually been on this bridge for a while, and I haven't been on this bridge ever to look across at the new area that we're building, and I'm really liking the proportions it's got. It's kind of looking like this. I don't know whether that came through the microphone. My cat just meowed. He's sat pretty much half on my keyboard, half on my mouse mat at the moment, so if some random buttons start being pressed on my mouse and starts moving uncontrollably, you know why. But I'll let him off, he's cute. So this area, I really like the look of it, like on the sightline, kind of this dark building at the back, and then the flat ride in the front. There's lots of textures going on with like the foliage and the rock work and kind of all the vines taking over. We'll have a closer look at that when we're down there, but I'm really liking the way this area is looking at the moment. And as you come through the Atlantis portal, I need to make a portal for this area actually, it's a good thing to remind myself for. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. I've got the entrance things here. This fence is actually just covering up the maintenance area. I still needed to kind of like somewhat disguise it, which is why you've got these themed facade walls here. This flat ride is starting to get its skin as well, with all the like vines and spiky things growing up it. That's kind of the vibe for this area. Vines and spiky things we're going for. This flat ride started to get its theme in as well. I need to do like a general foliage pass of the entire area. But this is basically what the rest of the theming is going to look like. It's kind of this stone fortress that's been like overgrown and overtaken. I love that interaction as well. We'll get back to the coaster. So much to discuss. Yeah, the views across this part will be really cool. But I bet you're probably thinking this part here looks quite empty. Just wait until next episode. Pretty much my entire screen now will be filled next episode. So that's something to look forward to, but as always I will tell you what I'm building next episode at the end of this one, so you can suggest names for that episode's coaster. But yeah, the theming started to go in. I'm really liking the look of it. This is just me experimenting with some kind of detail on the facade, but this is what the facade's going to start to look like. Same entrance thing there. Really big tree, which is cool. I like the look of this. And then you're going to have this indoor restaurant here that I mentioned last time with the spill-out seating. The actual coaster itself, by the way, has changed quite a bit. I've actually made the building smaller, so this whole chunk here is completely gone. But the coaster's actually gotten longer, and I've done this very purposely because I want to condense the theming. Not, I mean, yes, to make it easier for myself, but also like this is how this coaster type would be built. You would have most of the coaster all together like this. Now, this is just a supporting beam if you're wondering what the random bit of concrete is for. But you would normally have all the coaster together. Like there was quite a lot of parts of this building that just didn't have much coaster in them. It was like very sparse. And I just kind of felt like there's such a waste of the building. Like this building, never mind the coaster, the building would be really expensive to make anyway. So I just thought, we'll condense it all together a little bit. So I chopped off this entire part. Had to reroute it from coming up here because as you remember, after this drop it burst back through. I think it did some other stuff before it reached this first block section, but now it comes up into this block section. Does a turn if you follow the cursor through this massive track. Comes up from here. Actually, should we just wait until the train comes in? That might be a little bit easy. Can I have a train, please? There we go. So it comes up into this block section. There's a slight twist that's out the way of that track. Comes around here. Get a nice bit of interaction between the two actually as well. Over the first drop. Up into another block section, and then this is kind of like the ending of the ride. I haven't actually explained what the theme of this ride is yet. That's a good point. It's kind of like a cool story. Like I mentioned in the last episode about how it's kind of like a fortress. Basically, it's going to be a fortress that is holding this stone or crystal, whatever it is, and you're kind of going to be exploring, coming into this temple fortress, exploring it, and finding this crystal. And this is going to be kind of like the moment where, oh look, we've found the crystal, but then the whole place is rigged with traps, and you like kind of fall in and go through all that, and at the end you find the crystal. That's the sort of thing we're going for. It's quite a simple story, but in this temple and this kind of medieval village that we're building, there's going to be another coaster here. And basically the story of this village is that there's like this legendary sort of, it might not even be real, because I don't know whether anyone's seen it or not, but it's sort of like this legend creature beast thing that's sort of like a falcon, or like a big bird. That's what I'm kind of going off. And the bird is the protector of this fortress, therefore the protector of this stone. So this next coaster is going to be that bird, basically. So this is the protector, and then this is the stronghold. Great time for autosave to come in. That's probably a good indication of what you think this coaster is going to be as well, if it's a bird. I mean, speaking of autosave, I was doing a little bit of work on the next park, which is going to be like quite I'd say a big mini park. Like this is going to be a mega park by the time it's done. But the next part's sort of like a big mini park. And where I'm up to at the moment, I'm probably nearly finished. I'm about halfway through episode 1 on that park. And the autosave, like just saving it in general, I'd say one save probably takes about 20 seconds. To save this park on my PC, bearing in mind it has 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, the 12th gen i5, and a 3060 if you're into your PC spec stuff, it takes 2.5 minutes to save this park. That's how much detail's in here. I mean, should we select it to have a look at how many pieces? Please don't crash the game. Please don't crash the game. But like, this park is absolutely insane now, just the size of it and everything that's gone into it. Yeah, nearly 50,000 pieces, 45,751 pieces. I can't escape. There we go. Glad that didn't crash the game. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Into the actual coaster itself though, I've added some bits of theming like throughout the station, started to build all this up, and then when it's kind of like beams and stuff. When you go up into this, it's kind of like a rock tunnel as you get all the way up to the top. Obviously this needs to be a realistic ride. You can't have catwalks on this lift hill for some stupid reason, so I've had to add my own steps, but I actually prefer the look of the steps. It blends into the theme a bit more. It comes up here, then you'll have some sort of scene before it goes down into the rest of the traps. This other lift hill started to enclose a little bit different with these, I think they're like Egyptian Aztec temple pieces. It's going to have loads of cool nightlight in this coaster as well. And then this ending scene is going to kind of feel like it's outside at night. We're going to have like vines all over the walls and stuff, you speeding around. But I want this to be realistically themed. Like, I'm not going to go like over the top Disney level theming, because like the rest of the park it's themed, like it has stories, but it's more of like heavy stylization with narrative sort of thing. Like most of this theming's natural stuff, like water and vegetation and rocks. So that's kind of what I want to go for this. I want the theming to look natural. Obviously it's not, none of it's going to be natural because it's inside a building, but I want it to feel like realistic. So this will just be black painted walls, and it'll have like vines on it and stuff around in the middle. Obviously it'll be a lot more detailed than this, but when you're actually on the ride, you're only kind of going to be able to see a certain amount of detail because it's dark and you're going fast and all that. So it's going to be realistically themed. I think that's the best way of putting it. And then I've started to work on the queue as well. So there's this first portion of the queue that's outside. Still need to mess with the facades as far as it's going to work. I want you to enter this at night. I'm not going to do it now because I haven't put any night lighting in, but I want you to enter this at night. So it's going to be like really spooky coming into the temple sort of thing. And then this, I've built this for the queue. I just thought this was quite a cool concept. I wanted to kind of build some sort of triggered lighting and water thing. So it's kind of like a constantly moving set of effects for the water. But if I, oh, I'm in the wall. If I turn the lights off, I mean just turn it to night, no. It's got like lighting, pulsing lighting effects as well. So it's something more I can work on to make this area look really interesting. But yeah, that's basically what this queue is going to be like. Kind of, you're getting deeper into the temple. I'm in the wall again. You can have like sound effects and cool lighting and stuff. Artifacts laying around, and then you come here, get the choice between one or two. Oh, do I make a window there? That's actually really cool. I didn't even know it was a thing. I'm going to make a window there. You choose either side of the station. You come up into the station, and then you exit going over this ramp. Down here into the rest of the park. That's a nice view. You see so many coasters. The Woody off in the back, spinner, dive coaster. Can you see any of the Vekoma? No, not really. Yeah, so that's basically what I've got to so far. But this is pretty much all in about 2 days. I've just kind of flat out done this because I had a bit of, I don't know, a bit of creative juice flowing and it just kind of happened. So I'm hoping that happens again. My cat is now sat across half of the keyboard. Oh, can you move your paw? Thank you. Yeah, I will get back to you once I've finished a bit more of this area for update 3, and then I think update 4 will be the last one, so I'll see you then. Currently Christmas Day when I'm recording this, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we've had quite a bit of progress, but you probably noticed not a lot of progress on the actual indoor portions of the coaster, and I've done that on purpose. Definitely not procrastinated it, but I'm going to save it until the end. So this is update 3. And then in update, well not update 4, in the final tour is when you will see the inside of this. I wanted to leave it mysterious and kind of, I don't know, the POV will be the first time you'll see the inside of it. We might have a little bit of explore after, just to kind of keep the suspense. But you probably noticed that this building has got a little bit smaller since last time. Quite a bit's changed actually. I've changed the coaster layout again. I can't remember whether this little rear room was on the layout. Oops, I'm in the wall. Whether this was on the layout last time, but I've added this room, completely removed all of this part of the building. It came out to like sort of here-ish, where you can see the concrete. Moved it all back in, and then I've changed, oh the music got all dramatic. I've changed the first lift hill so that it's a lot shorter now, and then that means that this area is shorter because the sight lines, I thought this building is just way too big. So I reduced the size of it by quite a bit, and that gives a nice kind of depth seeing that in the background as well, because I can just theme that front facade of this part here. Don't have to theme any of the roof or anything because it'll only be ever seen from the people level, and it creates quite a nice sight line as kind of the backdrop for this area, which is cool. I've changed quite a lot of rock work as well and texture for the outside of the building, completely deleted the old kind of thing of that. Added loads of effects as you burst back through the building as well. Yeah, it's come quite a long way, and the interior queue, which, oh, do I keep that until the tour as well? I'd be really naughty and keep that until the tour as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. Completely finished theming the two, oh, finished theming that flat ride. That still needs a bit more foliage and stuff. Added texture to the facade of all this part. Photos unit as well, that's come across from one of the other rides earlier. I've just changed the colours of it. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this front facade kind of works, and you can imagine sitting here having your food, just watching the coaster kind of zoom past and then down here burst through back into the building, but obviously that'll be dark in there, so you wouldn't see all that other track, and I'll probably cover up that other piece with some walls. The restaurant's coming along a little bit as well, added a bit more progress on that. And then obviously, like I said, this is going to be the site for next week's episode, another huge coaster, which I will reveal in the final tour bit. So you can all comment your name suggestions for that one, and I will reveal the name suggestions, well, and the name winner, sorry, for this one in the final tour, which will go just on that sign there. But yeah, nice quick update for this one. Just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of what I've been up to, but not spoil too much for the final reveal. So I will see you. Oops, I'm on the floor. I will see you in the final update and the tour for this area. Finished, finally. This episode has taken forever. Not for you, it's probably like half an hour for you, but for me, it's taken forever. I'm gonna guess it's probably taken me about 2 months to do this episode, but I've just been so busy, just with work, being in full-time work now. Full-time work. Planning park trips as well. It's been fun. You'll see those soon, or maybe have already seen them. I don't know the timeline of this series still yet, so that's either a nice surprise for you that's coming or has already been released. Got the flat rides all fully themed in now. I'm really happy with these flat rides. The park desperately needed some flat rides, so I think that's why these needed to be added. This is a Sizzler, I think that's what they're called. These kind of need names, so if you want to comment names for these, you can, even though you've already decided the name for the coaster. You can comment names for these. If not, then I'll just name them at some point before the park tour. Oh, hello tree. And if you come around this way, you've got the, I think is it called an Insanity in game? I can't remember what it's called in real life. It's a mission at Alton Towers. That was at Alton Towers. It's like a more modern one of those. It must be a pretty weird ride experience. I'd like to try one someday. But yeah, again, this one will need a name. And then you come down here. I've added a lot more foliage and stuff. And then the building for the dark ride. I've kept like the progress on the last update quite, I don't know, hidden, because I wanted to surprise you with what the whole thing kind of looked like together. Which is why I haven't really shown much of the inside of the building either, because I'm really happy with this. It's gotten to a point now where I don't want to tinker with it anymore. That's so cool, it comes around the side. I don't want to tinker with it anymore. It's fine enough for me, I'm happy with it. It's my first indoor coaster and I didn't really appreciate how much of a commitment that was going to be. It's a lot of work getting this right, but I'm happy with where it is at the moment. But we'll leave the coaster till last. We'll explore the themed area first. Down at the side here, we have White Wing Tavern. Hello. One of my cats has just walked onto my desk and is now blocking my pretty much entire view of the monitor. Good job. So we've got White Wing Tavern. He's chasing the cursor now. Can you see it? Can you see the cursor? Yeah, don't pour at my monitor, please. So we've got White Wing Tavern. I think I explained the story, but I'll somewhat explain it now. Basically, there is this temple, hence the gigantic building, that contains a crystal. This crystal has been guarded for centuries in this temple fortress by this like white bird, hence White Wing Tavern. It's kind of like the village around it, and it's kind of like the local legend. Yeah, it's just a kind of stereotypical restaurant thing. I don't know what that is coming through the ceiling. It might be an aircon unit. I'll sort that. And then you've got kind of the staff area off the side where the staff make the food, and then they'll bring the food out so you can eat the food, and then you go in there to get rid of the food. Then you come out of here. You get such a good view across the park from here, across the lake, at the dive coaster, all the other rides going along doing the things. And I love this seating area down here that gets a great view of the coaster as it comes down its outside section. You can actually get pretty close to it as well, and I love the foliage, how it like kind of is climbing up the building. Can you get your paw off my monitor, please? Thank you. It's still pouring it. Oh, good time on the coaster coming past. Yeah, don't pour it as it goes past. Thank you. Oh, he's left now. I think I've made him mad. I am sorry. So we'll come round to the entrance. I'm going to have to get you two in a video someday. I have 2 kittens, if you didn't know. I'm going to have to get them in a video at some point. Hello. I need to get them in a video. That'd be funny. I could do like a spin wheel challenge, but they pick. Do you want to pick parts of a coaster for me to make? Oh, that was a nice headbutt, thank you. We'll go on the coaster now. So this coaster doesn't have a name yet, but it did as of last episode when I asked you to comment to choose a name. So this is the name I've chosen. I'll put it on the screen now. I don't know what it is yet because I'm recording this in January. So you've already suggested the name for this. So whoever chose this name, thank you. It's a great name. Appreciate it. Only a few more opportunities to choose names now in this park. So if you haven't already, please pick some names in the comments because you've always got a chance of being picked for yours. I'll explain what the coaster will be for next episode, which will be over there at the end of this episode. I'm going through the queue now into the coasters. Well, the queue. This is what happens when you ramble, you run out of words. There we are. I'll show you the rest of the area at night when we come out of the building, but enter and ride at night. So you get a nice bit of backstory as you're coming into the queue. A long time ago, this temple held a powerful blue crystal. You come around the corner into this water feature that I think I showed you last time. It's very dark in here. I might need to add some more lights later, but the water kind of pulses around in these like falling bits. It was quite a cool effect, and then you've got the splashes down there as the water hits and the lights that follow it. I think it was pretty cool. Legend says it gives its owner unlimited power and magic. A Palpatine reference. Unlimited power. The crystal was hidden away in this temple, guarded by a white bird protecting the crystal. And then I love this corridor with all the little candles down the side. Should we do all cinematic and like glide down? Are you ready? Oh, that was too fast. Whee! There we go. And you get a little view of the lift hill as well. I'm so happy I kept that little window in there. It was a complete happy accident. And then before you go up, it says, to ascend, one must embrace direction unknown. And you can go left or right, because this is a dual loading station. We'll go right. Mainly because that's the only coaster that's actually connected. You come up here, you got some more candles and stuff. Then the station, I've kept it quite minimal in here just because I wanted to focus more on the actual coaster itself. But again, it's something I can always go back to in the future maybe. I like the ceiling lights. And then you've got the automatic doors that open when the coaster does. But I think it's time to go on the coaster. I've left it too low now. Let's take a ride. And there you go. We can pretend we definitely pull back into the other side of the station just because it looked cool. You go up the exit bridge here, down and out, and then we get a nice view, photo unit there, get a nice view of the area at night. This area has been really fun to make, but a huge commitment. Like, I didn't expect an indoor coaster because I expected it to be a fair bit of work just because, I don't know, you don't have, like, with a outdoor coaster, you can have like foliage and terrain and the natural landscape that can help to theme it, whereas with an indoor coaster you've literally just got a giant concrete box So I found this very, very difficult to do, but I'm glad that I did it, because it's something that I've never done before in Planet Coasters, to do like a giant building like this and then theme it all up. But I really, really enjoyed it. It's not something that I think I'll go back to straight away. I think I'd like to do other things now, because I realise how much of a commitment this is. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I've tried to make it as realistic as possible as well. Like, I've added foliage on the roof to try and disguise the other parts of the building, but to ground it in realism, there's only so much of a gigantic show building like this that you can hide. So I've got in like foliage and different parts to cover the, like, obviously this isn't a giant temple aspects of it, but yeah, I'm really happy with the way this has turned out. And this whole area, to be fair, this whole area is actually quite big. If you look at it compared to like the other parts of the park, oh, nearly done actually. Not long left, but it's kind of like similar size areas to the wooden coaster and the Mack Extreme spinner and the Vekoma family launch coaster. It's about similar size sort of area, but the amount of, like, so much more detail's gone into this in creating the structure and creating the how the ride works and everything and all the theming. Yeah, it was a lot, but I'm glad can say I've done a full indoor coaster now. That's pretty cool. Next episode will be this coaster here. Now the final episode is all this area, so again, quite another large area. Next week's going to be a bit of a shorter episode, but I'm going to do this area here, which is going to be a coaster. You might be able to tell what it is by the size of the transfer tracks, actually. It's going to be quite a big coaster that goes out across this lake, a family coaster. It's going to fit into this area, and I need names for this coaster because it will be the white bird that you've seen around this ride. It will be that, and I can't have a white-winged bird making a coaster of it and not have a family B&M wing coaster. Like, it has to be a B&M wing coaster. That's, yeah, it works, doesn't it? So, there you have it. We're going to have a family B&M wing coaster come out over this lake. You're going to get really nice views from all around this part of the park. Kind of this dual facade bit that we talked about a couple of episodes ago. Nice views across here. It'll fill in a lot of this like negative space, and because it's a B&M, you'll see loads of nice B&M track everywhere. I think this is the most B&Ms I've ever done in a park. Oh, I might have just spoiled the last episode. Oh, there's another B&M. What? I know. I've kind of oh, that's a lot of lag. I think it might be auto-saving. I've neglected B&M definitely quite a fair bit over my past few park series. We haven't done a lot of them. So this park we've got 3. So that'll be interesting. I'll let you guess at what the last one could be. But yeah, next episode, B&M Family Wing Coaster. Names for that, please. To do with the white bird from this attraction. Maybe name the bird. Don't know. Give it a name. Something a bit more interesting, like, I don't know, than Barry, maybe. Call it something a bit cool. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Very happy with this indoor coaster. Excited to move on to the B&M wing, and then whatever this coaster is over here. I'm not saying what it is. 2 coasters, actually. Ooh. And then that'll be it. Voyagers Adventure will be done, and I can finally move on to the next park project. Got too many parks on the go at the moment after I finish Voyagers Adventure. You'll know which ones those are if you've seen my announcements video, which I posted a while ago where it announced my rebrand and merch and stuff. But yeah, I'm so happy with all of this. Next episode, B&M Family Wing Coaster. I will see you then. Please stick around for that, because it's going to be a very cool coaster. Thank you again for watching. Leave a like on the video if you really enjoyed it, or if you didn't enjoy it, let me know why. I'm always open for improvement. Subscribe if you like seeing series like this and want to see more of them. I don't know what we're at now because I'm releasing this in the future, but we are very close to 9k. If we can break 10k by the end of this series, that would be insane. So again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.